Good morning. What's going on? What's going on? Welcome back to United View. Welcome back to another morning view. Happy Monday to all of you. A big week lies ahead. It's finally here in terms of the final week. Game week. It is game week. We can say that. I mean, it's right at the end of now. Like, it is the furthest away it could possibly be in the week. But it doesn't matter. We're on the optimism. Optimized. I nearly went into that there. It's not even really a plug for that right now. But like I said, it's part of life. It's so not a part of life, so it's always constantly going on in my head with Optimum and Oxford Natural, and you guys know where to find that. Link is in the video description below. Just for no reason, guys. Monday morning, why not? So many of you are talking about it.
I'll put it in there now.
Put it in. Actually, sorry, yeah, it's not, but we'll just add it in because why not? Why not, mate? Why not? Get your Optimum there. And check out all the content that we've done with Oxford Natural and Optimum as well. You can see the results. It's absolutely fantastic. But big up to each and every single one of you. It is game week, and Ruben Amorim takes his first trainer session today. I would pay a lot of money, Owen. A lot of money, not a lot, but I would love to be. Let's just say that. Forget money. I would love to be a fly on the wall in Carrington today, and not just like, you know, on one of the youth pitches or one in the canteen. No, a fly on the wall on the first team side. I want to see. I'd love to see what he says in that first meeting together. His directions. See what the first training session looked like. I'd love to be a fly on the wall just to get an insight into that. I reckon it would be absolutely fantastic.
It depends a little bit, isn't it? Because obviously, look, England played yesterday, so they're not going to be back. You know, so it's one of those ones like with any international break. Like, you're not going to get the first full training session with everyone there. Is probably like Wednesday, Thursday-ish.
Wednesday,
around that kind of time. So it's getting a bit of a staggered return of the players. There have been players that, and also other players have been on holidays as well. I saw something on social media that was saying that actually the players that he has met thus far, the players that have been at Carrington, are all of those ones that are recovering from injuries. So Kobbie Mainoo's, Mason Mounts, Luke Shaw's, that's why he's been pictured with all of them. The other people that aren't injured but weren't selected for international duty, like your Rashfords or your Casemiros, they were, of course, in the United States last week on holidays. They got given some time off.
And we forgot we ain't got no one in England.
I know. Well,
I just thought about that. Someone just said in the comments, goes, "Oh yeah, don't have anyone, mate."
Yeah.
But your point remains of our players who are
international duty players. Yes, that was bloody.
You can't say that we don't have anyone at England.
I know. And the thing is, as well, it would have only been Kobbie, wouldn't it? If he was. Harry Maguire.
Yeah, Harry Maguire here and there. Up until the injuries, I mean, for some miraculous reason, which we saw, even though he's never fit for us, always got to run out or get in the squad for England. Luke Shaw did. So, but So wow, we're living in a world where the English Man United players miles off, mate. Apart from Kobbie.
Yeah, I mean, but it might change now with Thomas Tuchel being in. He might, select different people, might have different favourites and what have you. Maybe there'll be even less England. Maybe there'll be even less England players, right? Maybe he might go, I'm not picking Harry Maguire. No, I'm not. It's only going to be Kobbie. That maybe is what he does. But the point being is, international players still have to return to training, and so it's not going to be a full group. But I mean, everyone's going to be excited today, aren't they? Again, seeing the pictures of him on the pitch. I remember Erik ten Hag when he first stepped on the training pitch at Carrington. He was shuffling his boots and he was coming on like that. It'll be the same thing today with Ruben Amorim, and people will be talking about the aura of. I tell you what, the way he's walked on that pitch, Flex, generational. How he's walked onto that pitch. Or they'll see some clips. Like, I love. And this happens quite a lot actually and you'll actually have seen this, like with the open training sessions that you see on like European days, and they do that like 5-10 minutes in front of the cameras. They do a routine, which is like one of the more basic routines. It's not training, rubbish. No. It's warm up basically, and people look so much into it. They go, I tell you what, that's impressive. And you have to sort of remind people, go, I ain't training. that's not training. The actual training we will not see. We'll see some clips, we'll see some pictures. It'll be nice, but the proof will be on the pudding on Sunday, and it's just a question of how much proof are we going to see on Sunday, I suppose, Fleck.
Yeah, exactly. That's the one we're waiting for. You're right about the staggered return. We can't take too much from it, but in terms of the excitement, in terms of just seeing more of the journey begin to unfold, it's nice. It's nice. And the club do a really good job and have done a really good job of like, the social media posts, the type of pictures, the edits, the videos, with the music behind it, etc., capturing all the smiles, which again, you should do. That's that's your job. And we did the same under Eric. So I do get when people are like, listen, let's chill, let's calm down. I think we're all kind of different in terms of how we feel. Like we all I think agreed that Eric should leave. I don't think nothing to do with that. But in terms of how to receive the new manager, in terms of how far people are going with the sort of buying into it, that does vary. Some people are going, listen, thank God we got a real head coach. This is what we need, and this will work. Finally, somebody knows what they're doing. Some people are just on that, right through to the other side of, I'm not doing that. I have no idea about this guy. Some people never heard of him before. You get different types of fans, don't you? Don't know one player from the Portugal league, mate. Can tell you one manager. I haven't got a clue who this guy is. I just heard everyone raving about him now. That's all I know. So don't even. So, might even go as far as don't even know 3-4-3. I don't even, mate. All I know is 4-4-2, mate. Yeah,
It's actually,
you know what I mean? You
really
get a
true.
range.
Like when you talk to say your parents or whatever. Like I always use barometer myself like my dad. My dad's a big Man United fan. Has been his entire life or whatever. But if I say to him, Ruben Amorim's coming in, he'll be like, "Oh, who's he?" Basically,
what does that mean?
You know what I mean? Yeah. He'll go, "Is he good?" That's what I was saying. Is he good? And I go, "Yeah, he's done all right in Portugal." He'll be like, "Well, right. Let's see. Let's have a look."
And you know what? And if you actually adopt that through experience or through decision, like it's a lot easier. Just is he okay? We'll have a look. Bless Joe. I see there's a guy called Joe, and he's quite an old gentleman, and he's had have problems and stuff. He's had a couple of strokes and that's. But so I was sort of helping through the game, and he's sort of who's coming on or who just scored that, what just happened. But then when something happens that he doesn't like, because he's been going for East, he goes mad and just like when Onana's just taking his time, trying to bait on the press before he passes it, he just goes nuts. Get the bloody thing forward. Stop pissing around with it. This is the bloody... He goes mad. And then it's my job to say, like, well, Joe, this manager, Ten Hag, he kind of wants to play like that. Like, it means nothing to Joe. Like even the other day, he was like, he got angry again. he got angry against Leicester because I think there was a period of the game where we were just... It's a bit mundane. It was taking too long to... He gets angry if you don't get the ball forward quick enough. And he's like, oh, bloody hell, rude. Just get the bloody thing forward. When's this new fella coming? Where's this new fella? Get the bloody thing forward. And I was like, Joe, he can't start yet. He's this time we've got rude for him. Why are we bloody in limbo anyway? He just starts going crazy. But he's brilliant. But my point is, anyway, is that what I was saying is that, you go from probably the younger generation who are really into the tactics, really into the style of play, really knowledgeable on other leagues because we have the internet. You can watch any game you want, anytime, any place, any country. So you and if you want to go into a deep dive about finding out about said manager, said style of play, once you know they're coming, there's a whole wealth of knowledge out there to go and basically catch up on the last 4 years he's been there or however long he's been there, where you could be right up to the time. So it is interesting. So I think for those people, it's more exciting day by day. Oh, it's the first time he's on the training pitch and this, that. But like you said, Owen, your dad today, his day will be as normal as it can come.
No difference.
He won't.
I might speak to him on the phone or I might drop him a message. And, if I was, not even if I drop him a message, if I'm on the phone to him, then he'll be like, oh, what's going on? I'll be like, oh, Ruben Amorim, first training session. You go, is it? Who we played at the weekend? And I'll go, Ipswich. And he'll go, should win that one, shouldn't we?
Should beat them, yeah. No context of like,
yeah.
There's a new,
but then that's how it is, isn't it? That's the like I said, that's the spectrum, I suppose, of being a Man United fan. Doesn't make you any less of a fan or anything like that. So but it is exciting. As the week goes on, the build up will get even more intense, and then it'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see how the media covers it. To be honest with you, because so far they like Ruben Amorim. So far,
yeah, they're laughing until they don't.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And he'll have his press conference. I don't know whether he'll have it Thursday or Friday, either or. Probably Friday if it's a Sunday game. And I'm sure that will go very well. Again, very charming man, and all the media like him, and he's spoken very well thus far. And but football is that results-based business, isn't it? You can be as charming as you want. If you don't win, then they'll be like, oh, he's very nice. It'd be like the Ollie thing, wasn't it? Nice guy.
He's still a nice guy.
I mean? So
I think that will
that's
happen,
what it will be. That's what it will be. But I suppose that another part of it this week, factoring in the training stuff, will be, those people coming back from injuries as well. Like we did see, didn't we? Mason Mount, he was on his way back prior to the international break. Ericsson's back. Be interested to see where Cobby is at this point. Lenny Yoro's on the way back. Malasia's actually played minutes now for the under-21s. So it will actually also be interesting to see when Sunday does come around, who's he going to pick from? Because he might actually have way more options than were there just, a couple of weeks ago, actually.
I agree. And that's what we have to look at in terms of the squad, because we've been forgetting about it because of all the injuries, that we're not far off a full complement, which I can't remember the last time we said it. When you actually break it down, I know we can do the thing as fans where we go, yeah, well, it's not going to last long. Luke Shaw's going to go down. We know that's going to happen. Mazraoui's injury record's not great, but actually since he's come, he's had a few where you see him at the end of the game, you go, I'll tell you what, he's going to be down.
He goes down, you go, that's it. That's it.
But he actually hasn't been out, has he? I don't think.
He had a procedure done with his heart.
Oh,
and he
was back.
and he was back like a few days later. And everyone's like, he's going to be out for a month. He's like, I'm playing the weekend.
So it makes us nervous to talk about injuries because we don't want to jinx things. But actually, after Yoro's back. Yoro's back. Like
in training.
You don't know he's going to be available for selection. You don't know if he can play or if they're going to just step off it a little bit. But in terms of being in the full set training session, not by yourself on the grass, not doing individual training, not just doing runs. No, he's back. Malacia is back. Like again, you don't know if he's available to play against Ipswich, which would make sense because of how long he's been out.
Yeah.
But to go and play 45 minutes of somewhat competitive football.
Yeah.
It was an EFL trophy, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. It was competitive.
Football,
exactly.
competitive men's football.
Yeah.
Because it's when the kids get to play against men's, i.e. Huddersfield. What are they? Huddersfield champion, it? Or they League One?
I don't know.
League One, I think.
I can't believe they got relegated a few years ago.
Mental, isn't it? Under Wagner, yeah.
I know, yeah.
Tough place to go it was as well.
I know. I remember.
And what's his name in the middle? Marn.
The Australian
guy. Yeah, they're just decent players, man.
Yeah.
But anyway, what my
Moy,
point was,
that was it, wasn't it?
Moy, sorry, not Marn. Aaron Moy.
Yeah.
He's a good little player. But yes, that we're thinking of like, okay, he can't play against Ipswich, but within the next couple of weeks, and I think Shaw's nearly there, isn't he? Shock, horror, whatever that means. But he'll be back at some point. Actually, there's no guarantee of that. We don't know. He probably.
Well, he was in training, wasn't he? And that was surprising.
He's been in training. Actually, he's in training as well. So it's only really Harry Maguire, and obviously Toby Collier is on his way back. But in terms of senior first team players, it's only really Harry Maguire, really.
Yeah, I mean, I saw
Mason Mount's back
in the Sweden game. Didn't Lindelof limp off?
Actually, he did. We don't know how he's going to come back, and we don't know like how precautionary it was with Lissandro as well.
With Leach, exactly. We don't know what the situation was. I mean, I heard that he'd already come back, and like again, it might just be a precautionary kind of thing. But like you said, there are going to be certainly options there, and we forget actually. We're thinking just solely focusing on the Ipswich game on Sunday, but then we got a game on Thursday. We got Europa League, Bodo Glimt at home, so that turnaround is going to be very, very quick too. So, and I'm really interested to see how he treats those other competitions too, because we had become very used to how Ten Hag would operate in all those cup competitions, which is basically they are exactly the same as the league. I don't treat them any differently. I mean, unless I'm playing like a League One side, then I'll rotate. But even then, I'll play a strong team. I'll play us into form. Not every manager does that. Some coaches decided to go with, no, the league's the priority. I'm going to rotate. So it'll be interesting to see what he does do against Bodo Glimt. Either, I am going to rotate because I need to keep people fresh, or actually the best way to implement this sort of 3-4-3, or at least playing 3 at the back, whatever happens with the rest. But certainly 3 at the back is actually games. The more games we have, then the more repetition that some of these players can get to play in this formation. So do we actually see not that much rotation when it comes to particularly the defensive side of things? Because he goes, actually, I'll keep him going. I'll keep him going sort of thing.
Exactly. I agree. And the thing is that he, it's the beginning of his tenure as well. So he has to strike a balance of like, I kind of want to play what I think my team is going to be, as often as I probably can early doors to get used to it. But he's obviously also going to take into context once he's gone through his full dossier, which he would have done, work out who's been out injured recently. So I know I can't really do that.
It'd be like Santa Claus's list.
Yeah, they've all been injured multiple
everyone.
times in the last couple of years. So take your pick. So he might also be like, Polo glimpse at home, I should be all right. Let me keep the main core and just. But also, I need to have a look at Anthony. I need to have a look at what Garnacho looks like in the inside 10, because against Ipswich, I went with this. Now I need to go with that. So actually, we should probably. I just think we just allow him to work. I don't think we should work out a method to the madness. I think at the start, I think we just need to allow him to approach these games any way he sees fit, because we don't know what his starting 11 is going to be. We might get a good glimpse of it against Ipswich, but with who's available,
it's not going to be the total picture.
We forgot Cobby. We forgot Cobby. Actually,
exactly.
How can we forget him? I feel like it's not the total picture. It's not a full complement to pick from, and Cobby is a big one actually.
Yeah.
So it's not enough to just go, well, that first team sheet against Ipswich, I'll tell you all you need to know.
That's it. That's nailed down. That's his team.
It's not that, because Yoro's not even kicked a ball for Man United.
No, and also people, you see that all the time, don't you, with certainly managers that have success at clubs. They do it all the time, don't they? When they go, this was their first 11 and this is their current 11. You know what I mean? And then they go, oh, bloody hell, look at the difference. Look at the change. Look at the
players who've moved on.
The players that's moved on or what have you. So, yeah, it's not going to be a total idea of what his best starting 11 is. I think, there was a really interesting discussion last night, actually, on the Full View, wasn't it? With this idea of, if it were to go wrong against Ipswich or maybe a couple of games, would he then differ to anything else?
I don't think he
would.
will.
I was really surprised, actually. I think it was Kenny who was going, oh no, he'll go back to 4-2-3-1 and counter. I thought, I just don't see it. I really don't see that. I just see that that's why he's been brought in, basically. Not specifically for that formation, but it was a bit like the argument. I saw some people pushing back, going, oh, this is the thing. He's brought in all of his backroom staff again, more change at United. And you go, well, you're not just, when you essentially when you buy a manager, or in this case, a head coach, you buy everything that comes with it, don't you? You know what I mean? You don't just buy the guy, you buy his team and you buy his formation, you buy his ideas, essentially. And that's what was one of the disconnects with Erik ten Hag at United, is that we thought we were getting one thing, we ended up getting something else. And you end up with a bit of buyer's remorse, don't you? And so I think that when we've hired Ruben Amorim, we've hired him to do, hopefully, the football that he was playing at Sporting, which includes his formation. Whether or not that works immediately or not is kind of by the by, isn't it? You stick with it and you just, until it gets to a point where, 6 months down the line, it's still not working. Then you go, well, maybe there's a bit of a problem here. But initially, I don't think he's going to change. No. Why would he?
I was just about to say that. I don't think he, again, I know you can talk about not lip service, but like saying all the right stuff at the beginning, because that's your intentions. That's, you're not lying. You are going to go into Carrington and believe in your principles.
Yeah.
Every manager who has come through the doors and it hasn't worked by the end of it came in saying, going to do this. We're looking forward to putting us back where we belong, winning trophies, doing this. That's the intentions. It's not a lie. But that at the start, I don't think he's going to go so big on some of the things he says in terms of, guaranteeing an identity, a way of playing, an idea. And basically, we all stick to that idea. I want to say to you, it will be great football and loads of wins, but I can't guarantee that. What I can guarantee you, he said literally the only one thing that I'm in control of that variable is this identity. He didn't say 3, 4.
And I like it. I like it when he said whether you like it or not. Basically, you might like it, you might not like it. And again,
so that shows to me
you only say that when basically you're going, I'm going to stick. I don't really care.
1,000,000%.
You know what I mean? What you think? I'm going.
And we need that. We need.
Yeah.
That.
Well, you need it to an extent, because got to keep the same energy. That was some things that were criticised of Erik ten Hag, of going, look, you're not being flexible here. You're being too stubborn. But you only have that conversation when it's not working, isn't it?
Yeah. And I think that also when we criticize, I think it's difficult to criticize someone who does have a style and a way of playing that has worked, or maybe has worked at this club, not just before, because Erik ten Hag had a way of playing at Ajax, but we never saw it with us. But the criticism there when it started going wrong was, well, your way is you've abandoned that ages ago.
You said you're not going to do it.
You said you're not going to do it. So whatever you're doing now, which is this 4-2-3-1 counter-attack, gaps all over the gaff, that's not working. So for God's sake, man, just go.
So what is it?
Just So then we were like, well, do this or do that. You're too stubborn.
Exactly.
If you come in, he never sort of played the same team or had a set way where we were like, right, this is what we're going to do. If it's so identifiable from day one, minute one, this is why you have to do it. That buys you time instantly. That gets people to say, you know what? He's set his stall out at 3-4-3. He hasn't had a proper transfer window. He's coming in November. Already, I'm in till the summer. Do what you need to do. Do what you need to do. If it goes up, if it goes down, not that, you should have to coach people into not being the manager out after 6. I'm not talking about anything like that. Not even in my mind or talking or bringing that to the table. But in terms of you can buy a lot of patience and time by, if you do implement something that is brand new straight away and say, look, it's going to take me a bit of time, but again, I'm going to guarantee you I show you this idea. Show us the idea, and if we can see, if you're a good enough coach, which any of these coaches that we're praising, they've all done straight away. You can see it straight away. You'll see in the first 5 to 10 games, you will see that's different. Not perfect. It's not polished. It's different though.
And this is when it goes back to, we were talking about the different kind of fans earlier on. And again, I use my dad as a reference point for this. Is that so, I know that when you talk about Ten Hag and his style of play, there were people that were still now were staunchly defend. No, he had the 6 here and the 8 here and the 10 and it was in blah, 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 blah. But like I said, if I said that to my dad, he'd give me the blankest look and be like, we're shit, basically. You know what I mean? And it'd be like, well, I saw us getting just, every time they had the ball, they nearly scored against us kind of thing. So like you said, that idea of has to be so clear that even if you're not the most tactically nuanced person, you can see it. If you're in the stands, whatever, and you go, look, I just like going to watch United every single week. That's all I do. That's my routine. Or I watch them on the TV every single week. And you go, but I tell you what, I can see that. I can see that. It's got to be that clear, hasn't it? That you go, right, even though we didn't win today, I see it. I see it. I understand it. That's what we're trying to do. Either it's not, maybe we don't have the players for it. It's sometimes just the time. Sometimes it does take a bit of time. He has come in November, mid-season. There's still a lot of the season to go. So that's why, another thing last night was this whole top 4 is a write-off or Champions League next season's a write-off. I don't think so. I don't think so at this point. You could certainly say, well, with the squad we've got or how we've been playing thus far this season, you see the difference between us and other teams. You've got absolutely no chance. But there is still a lot of time to go when it comes to that. And you could say, well, what's changed? Well, it's very obvious, isn't it? You got a new head coach, and that can change a lot of things, isn't it? What we do know is the way the trajectory that we were on. Absolutely no way. That was never even going to be a conversation, was it? About getting in the top 4, top 5, or what have you, or even winning the Europa League or something. But like, absolutely no way. Now you go, well, we'll see what happens. We in about what by the end of the year, probably. Actually, by the end of like December, we'll go. We'll know what we're going to do.
Yeah, when it comes to that. If we're still 4 points off or in and around it,
or if it's exactly. But if it's like a mixed bag, and we go. I feel we're a bit mid-table-ish, actually. You know what I mean? But like you said, if it gets to the end of December, you go, actually, we're only like, I said, 3 points off, 2 points off. You go, table's starting to settle a little bit now.
I think results will improve. Well, they have improved since Eric's gone. But I know we haven't. But the problem is we haven't. The Chelsea game at home was the hardest one, but it wasn't a great watch. Pauk was only round the corner ago. If Ahmad doesn't do what he did. That was probably
and let's be honest, some of those games that Pauk one, that Chelsea one, they were horrible games.
Awful. It's only because we won and respectively drew that, and it kept the momentum in terms of just results. And
they were terrible.
And the new guys on his way. We know the new guys on his way. We just forget, because all it wasn't about performance. Just keep your head above water. Rude's interim.
We're
not going to criticize any, and that's what it was. But you're exactly right. I mean, the last game against Leicester probably was the best one. I know we scored a lot of goals in Leicester the first game, but that Carragher was just really crazy. Apart from the Casemiro one, it was like, bloody hell, what's going on here? And we conceded some stupid goals as well. But the Leicester one the other day was sort of, again, it wasn't even it wasn't like from minute 1 to 90 pulsate. Absolutely, there was some gaps where it was like, nothing's really happening here. But we just
it's the most comfortable we've been in the league.
Most comfortable
in terms of a league match. That's the most comfortable we have been from 0 to.
And we don't often look comfortable, whether it's against relegation. I remember playing Luton at home last year. It was 1-0 Victor Lindelof. It's just like nothing in it.
Or even when we beat Southampton earlier on this season, we won by the same scoreline. But bloody hell,
it was not a proper 3-0.
It was after we conceded the penalty, and all that. But before that, bloody hell. So and that is when people are right when they say, wow,
just chill.
Are you expecting massive difference? Because he's got after the pout game of the Chelsea game, the sort of general feeling was, great, we won. Really happy we won. Bloody hell, Ruben Amorim's got a job on his hand, because some of that football is like
we said terrible. It loads of times. Yeah. I mean, and that's the bit where he's got the Moncler, and I'm getting excited, and I'm just like, this. I can't wait. I'm sold. He's so charming. This, that, and the other. Oh my god! Like, this is why I'm doing the excitement now. This is why, because once these games start, I'm back in mode. I'm back in like, okay, like I'm like your dad. Let's just have a look.
Yes, have a see.
I made up a saying. Someone remind me of it. Let it be, let's see, or something. Someone put it in the chat, and I said that's going to be the new motto. I made it up on the spot by accident, and I went, "Oh, actually, that rhymes." And I was basically saying it. It's one of the shows you wasn't on last week, and I was like, "We have to just chill and like let it play out." Someone put it in the chat of what it was. I want my motto back. Fleck 2024, November. Someone will put it in the chat. They put it in quotation marks. What was it? Come on, guys, don't let me down. Shows how much they're actually listening to me, actually.
Yeah.
I was like, everyone heard it. No, they not like us. No.
Disgraceful. Absolutely disgraceful.
Was it that one?
Guys.
Was it this?
Poor, terrible defending.
No.
That one? No.
No.
Was it...
no one remembers.
What is going on here?
What was that? Was it that?
Yo-Yo says, I'll be honest, I didn't hear it, Fleck. No one cares.
You're making it up. You're making it up.
Nah.
Hold on, wait a minute, Flex.
You lot are snakes.
I don't think this happened.
Nah, Owen,
I don't think this happened. This is the.
Are you not really doing this to me?
I go on holiday for a little bit, and then you start making stuff up.
Joe Fleming, my guy. Joe Fleming, because the rest of trolling. It was let it be, wait and see.
I see a lot of people go, I don't remember, Andre says I'm on the fence. Sounds a bit more accurate.
Wait there. Owen, nobody cares about my opinion. Nobody, bro. But you know why there's snakes?
It was your opinion. It was just
it was my philosophy
kind of thing. And
Owen,
you were really happy with it because it rhymed.
No, but they rated it,
and everyone else was like, hold
on, wait a minute, Flex.
It just rhymes.
They're snakes, really, because at the time they were gassing me. They were going, "Oh, I tell you what, that's brilliant." And
were they though?
Yes.
Was that in your head?
No, I don't do the KG thing. I said no.
Were they? They were gassing me. There's one person slow hand clapping in the crowd going,
"Nah."
Flex like, yes, that guy. You get it.
And do you know what's even more mad? Yeah. Like S. Matthew says it was something like "Let it be, we shall see." Basically, I heard a little bit. I weren't really concentrating, mate. Oh, you lot of pricks. Look at this. Well,
that's nice.
I said something. Joe Fleming is right, though. I think it was "Let it be, wait and see." Anyway, back to my point that I'm making now. If you even want to hear it, or so just shut the channel down.
You better watch out because we are come for you.
Do you know what I mean? Because if you're not going to listen to me, I'll may as well not do it then, really. Might as well just walk off, maybe. Just let Owen do it every day then. Just if you don't care about what I have to say, if you're not going to leave the conversation with something, a dime, a nugget, to back reference, then what's the point in me?
You're an educator, you know what I mean? You're not here just for opinions, you know what I mean? They call Ruben Amorim the poet. Apparently you are. But apparently this poet does have an audience. They're just not listening.
Mental.
Or paying any attention.
Bro, nobody cares. You know how hurtful this is after they gas me? They don't care.
I don't know if they did. I still think there was just one
person
that was like, Flex, that was really good. And then you've just gone, I tell you what, I got a great reaction. All Elite says, sorry, did you say something, Flex?
You know what? Yeah, I'm just gonna move on. I'm just gonna move on.
Well, in terms of the channel, just never return.
I'm just never gonna bring this up again because you're right. It's it's the way of the land. They don't have to take in what I'm saying past the hour that I say it for, and I get it. Point noted.
Then now again, we've got to make some serious calls now because we've got to get rid of all of the merchandise with that phrase on immediately.
Yeah,
that was going to be released today. Wait and see and let it be. All of those boxes of t-shirts you've got in that room gone. Great.
One Tail TV says Flex has never educated me. Good, because I'm not here to educate you. I'm here to give my opinion, and if you don't like it, no problem. If you do like it, no problem. That's it. I'm not here to educate you. I'm not here to tell you how to live your life.
Wow, Joe Fleming says with the super chat, no one was gassed over it, bro. He remembered. And he remembered it. And he remembered.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They do say eyewitness testimony. Very different. Varies from person to person. You know
only
what I mean?
one witness, though, isn't it? They need a bigger sample size.
Well, there's lots of witnesses. They just can't remember because it wasn't that good, apparently.
Yeah.
And the one that does has gone, oh, well, great.
Yeah. Yeah, it's probably just... Well, I thought it was good anyway, so... And it was relevant at the time. And it's still relevant now. I'll stand by that. So, it is what it is, really, isn't it?
I mean, it is. Try that one.
So, is what it is. How about that? Remember that. Joe also says, I know you're going to be vexed with me for raising this, Flex, but are you still planning to launch the Flex channel at some point or no? I'm not vexed with you for raising that, Joe. Absolutely not vexed at you for raising that. And it is still my intention to relaunch the Flex.
It's in the video description. Link is
the link is still there.
Nothing there.
Subscribe. No, just for you to be part of the first
part
of the new community. Just be ready because. But I will be 100% honest with you because that's the best way to be. I'm not there yet because there's just no time. Absolutely no time. So,
but the Flecknology will no longer be a problem.
But I tell you what, mate. I was just having a little peep actually earlier on this morning. Delivery times and expectations.
They arrive quicker than you think.
Yeah, because it's got Friday 22nd, but it says
it'll be way earlier.
I think it'll be way earlier than that.
Remember when I ordered mine? I was like, oh, it's going to be 2 weeks. It was there like 4 days later. Ridiculous. It's crazy.
UPS, listen, I'm telling you now, UPS. I'm telling you now, ups. Just bring it. Just bring it, mate. Just bring it. It's on its way. It's been packed. It says it's out for shipping or out for delivery. Sorry. No, it says shipped. I'm waiting for the out for delivery bit. So, yeah, I don't think it's going to take till Friday from here to now. So,
no.
I'm telling you now, guys. I'm telling you now. Yeah.
Technology.
Oh, my days. I'm going to be so powerful. So powerful.
Yeah.
I am. I really am. And the thing is, I'm going to be the worst type because I'm going to let you know every time. Like I'm going to show.
Well, I think you put pressure on yourself because if something wrong does happen now.
But that will be but if it goes wrong, it won't be because my machine is because I've not got the power. It will be me. But I can accept that. But things of like trying to change tab to bring them the news to read quotes, but I can't do it.
Yeah. You
can't laugh at me.
Or like when you tried to put pictures in StreamYard and it just broke. It just broke the whole screen. It just broke. You had to leave.
Yeah. Again, like this, I've had this monitor here. I remember I started using it because I was all gassed, and then it slowly became a problem for me. I had to go. Well, actually, we're not going to unplug that HDMI. We're not using that.
We're not using that one
until we get some more RAM and some more core and some more unified memory. We can't do it. So it's been off. I just look at this big black screen all the time. It's right there doing nothing. But guess what? This week it's not going to be. And I downloaded EAFC the other day as well. Yesterday, went down to half price.
I've heard people say it's not good.
Yeah, I have seen that. And I tell you what, the first part of it, I had to, because I play with D-pad and play with the old school buttons, they're slowly trying to phase me out. I tell you that. Because if you play with D-pad, you've got to change a lot of things for it to feel comfortable. Because there's some new dribbling where I turn it, just chips it up. I said, well, I'm not having that. KG tried to get me onto last day. He's like, just use the analog. And I did for a bit, but I don't have control over where I'm going. I don't like it. I'm just an old school PES buttons. So, but they're trying to phase me out. I had to put it back to tactical defending because there's a new type of defending. Don't like that. So it's all. Yeah, I haven't scored a goal. I can't score.
I ain't played it.
So yeah, I have to give it a go and get back onto it. I want to join in this. What do you call it? Thingy. This thing that they're all doing.
Pro clubs.
Pro clubs. Yeah. EAFC is horror. A lot of bugs.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of people say this is like a new low.
Really?
Yeah.
But I feel like everyone says it every year. Oh, it's not this. It's that. You know,
but that's people's point. That's what people's point. They're saying I thought last year was bad. It's getting worse.
Oh God! Bring back Pez, man. Where's the new football game? Why don't flipping 2K start making some of the football games? That'd be crazy. The attention to detail they have in NBA and WWE as well. WWE. What are the 2K games like in WWE? Good.
They had they've got better, but it got so bad they had to skip a year. It got I think it was 2K20 was so bad. It was like, and you know, they do the whole like worst game of the years thing, whatever. It was on those lists. And they were like, wrestling games don't make these kind of lists. Like it was that bad. So they skipped a year. Well, I say skipped a year. They released something else, but it wasn't that. And they had to wait a year because it was so shit.
Has it been on the up since then?
I think it's been on the up since then, but like it was really bad. And that was
you got the AEW, and then you're just like,
that AEW game was awful. It was terrible.
The first bit you got, you was like, yeah, I got one place. Yeah, it's all right.
It was awful.
And then it just became very.
It was awful. So it was terrible. That was a really bad game. There's like 2 game modes in it.
Okay.
And to be fair, credit to Josh because he picked up that game maybe 2 or 3 times and went, this game isn't very good. And I just went, because I'm beating you. That's why it's not very good. And it turns out it wasn't very good.
Lil Yo says 2K are making the new FIFA. Are they though? Are they? That'd be crazy if they are. But anyway, back to this type of football, real life football. John James says, no, it was good at the time, Flex. Yeah, it just kind of disappeared. Sorry, bro. So I'll take that. It was good at the time. And Tabra says, Flex acting like a disappointed high school teacher. Yeah, you haven't taken away the knowledge and, used it again in another lesson. I'm disappointed. Also, we've got 1,700 people watching and we got 563 likes. So let's do our best to get over and above 650. Let's say 650.
750. Why not?
750. Let's go 750.
Why not? Yeah.
Another person says 2K and making the next FIFA. They are EA.
There's mixed signals in the chat about it, isn't there? There's some people saying yes, some people
I know they
saying
split
no.
with FIFA. I know EAFC. I know that's why the whole thing's called EAFC now. I know that. Yeah. But in terms of 2K getting involved, interesting.
It's not like it was back in the day, is it, Flex? It's not, with your FIFAs and then your Pro Evolution Soccer, with a picture of Khalida on the front of it with big eyes, in
the burgundy kit with John Terry.
Yeah.
Oh man, that was just.
Well, Adriano, all you have to do is literally click shoot and he'd score from anywhere because his shooting was 99.
Mate. Honestly, the Pro was just the best. The Master League on Pro.
They used to just kick off. They used to kick off with him. Just go kick, shoot, goal.
Wicked, yeah. And when you do Master League and you play with players that aren't real, unbelievable.
I used to like trying to figure out the names because they didn't have the names of all the Premier League clubs. So you go, Manchester Red is playing some, and you have to work out by county. Playing Watford. Who's Watford? Yeah. They're Herefordshire or Hertfordshire or something like. You go, who's that? And then you see the players. You go, oh yeah, it's Watford.
Well, it was West London Blue, West London Whites.
Yeah.
I think North London Red was Arsenal.
I think so. Yeah. It was purely geographic.
Everton was Merseyside Blue, Merseyside Red. That's what it was for Liverpool and thing respectively. Yeah. Newcastle, I can't remember where they were on there. What are they called? Tyneside something.
Yeah, I'm not sure. But it was largely again geographic.
Counties. They only had like 3 teams. They only had like Juventus.
Whoever was on the front usually. Yeah, that was about it.
No, but they didn't have Arsenal though. Or maybe they did for that period. But yeah, there was only like a few like international teams you could get, like maybe Inter used to have for a bit. There's only a few teams.
Did you ever play? And people in the chat, they can let us know about this. Club football. And basically, it was club football, and it had a specific game for like almost every club. So it had like Man United. I think it was made by Codemasters. It was Man United Club Football. And if you went into like say the Old Trafford Megastore, it'd be in there.
Yes.
But they had it for every club. So it'd be like Club Football Celtic, Club Football Marseille, or Club Football Arsenal, or something like that. They had it for everyone.
Yeah, there it is on PlayStation 2. I remember that. I do remember that.
I had that, and the controls were different on that one. The how to shoot was different, and it was really, really hard. really hard.
PlayStation
I was like,
2.
Yeah, and they had it for
download it on Windows.
All of these different clubs had it, and but then it got really obscure clubs had it. You get like Club Football Birmingham City or something.
Yeah.
Like, how did they get that deal? But I remember that
Stadium looks pretty good though. Old Trafford looks pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember that. Just looking at that, I used to play another game called. It was so neat.
Yes, Game Fanatics, right. This was what was controversial about club football. It had a deliberate 2-footed tackle button, and you could dive. You could dive in the game.
L2 and R2.
With a free kick. You could cheat.
Yes.
You could cheat
was
in the
that
game.
club football? Oh, I used to play that all the time. I thought that was a different game where you could dive. I remember that L2 used to be L2. I'm sure of it. I'm so in the nostalgia now. Someone please put the buttons up. L2 or one of the shoulder buttons used to be 2-footed, and if you press them both at the same time, two shoulders, you dive. And if you mistimed it, you'd get a yellow card.
You get a card.
But if you did it, and when you play against your mate, they go, "Oh fuck it."
Yeah, you could cheat.
But I thought that was the Rio. I thought that was the Rio Ferdinand game.
I think it was club football, wasn't it?
I like. Well, there's another game. There's another game I used to play called. It was called Owen. Yeah, it was mental. Red card. It was
Red Card. Yes, I played
Red Card.
Is that when? I played that. I think I played on GameCube. I think it was. I played that on.
Yeah, I had it on PlayStation, and you used to be just there's no fouls pretty much, or you have to do fouls. It's just like karate kicking people, fly kicking them, mental. And then I remember early days. I used to play like actual soccer. I had like Alan Shearer on the front. That would have been before your time. I'm old school, me.
I'm old school, me.
Actua
on the old FIFAs where if you
play it on
fouled the ref, you always got an automatic red card, and then you used to get the player sent off, and then to the game. So
stupid. There you go, Alan Shearer on the front. Yeah, that's the one. 98. Actua Soccer 2 featuring Alan Shearer is on the front. I remember that. I used to play that. Actua Soccer 2. Got him on the front.
Yeah, I played that.
Got Shearer. And then there was the hardest game ever, 3 Lions. Where target. Oh my God, putting 3 Lions. To shoot, you'd go near the goal, and then a target would appear in the actual goal. So while you're trying to move the man, you go into a zone, and then the shooting goes in the goal, and a target moves, and you have to select it whilst you're trying to make challenges. It was really hard.
I was LMA Manager. That's why I was on PS2. LMA Manager Classic, and then it got discontinued. It's bullshit.
Yeah. 3 Lions. Look at it. Look how shit it looks. Yeah, there's the target. Wow, man. Yeah. Good game at the time. But that's enough video game nostalgia. For no reason. Let me click off those tabs so I just don't get this is football, That's it. This is football. And I remember Rio had his own one as well for no reason. I think Gerrard had his own one as well. It was weird. These little random games would just appear that were just so crap, but they just put the player on front of it. I did see, so back to our team in real life. I did see Ebola, which is a big Portuguese outlet, claim yesterday. And this is more of just a reference point to talk about how do we think things like this will happen. They said Man United are preparing to try and secure the signing of Giovanni Quenda now and welcome him to the club next summer. United's first proposal will be more than 40 million euros. Again, they're a Portuguese outlet, Ebola. I'm not saying it's going to happen or anything like that, but just in terms of that topic, us going back and getting player X or
isn't
player
that a disease as well, by the way?
That's Ebola. Yeah, that's Ebola. Yeah. I did think that when I first saw it, but I thought, well, it's Ebola and Ebola. Yeah, different.
Yeah, but it was unfortunate when I was all happening for them, wasn't it? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. I mean,
it was like the with Coronas, wasn't it? When that was all happening.
Yeah.
Like, well, no one wants to buy Coronas.
It's mad, but in the end, it's just like they're not out of business. Everyone still has a Corona.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Bit of lime in there.
Yeah,
I mean,
fine, no
everyone has a
problem.
problem.
But basically, what it is it's the same thing as when Eric was here, wasn't it? You know, we're
Yeah.
signing the Ajax players. He's a good player
No,
though. When we
It was
watched,
true for some of them.
yeah, well, yeah, exactly. I mean, he did say, didn't he? January, he was like, "I'm not going to sign any sporting players in January. It's not going to happen." Didn't say next summer, did he? So,
Or did he say that just for Gyökeres though? It would be disrespectful. I don't know if he said it for anyone. I think he was
but
like,
then
for Gyökeres.
the Gyökeres stuff was weird as well because I think it was like the sporting president was like, he's got a release clause. If someone pays it and he wants to leave, then he's gonna leave. We don't think that's going to be in January. Blah blah blah. He was kind of actually quite sort of open about it. I was quite surprised.
A lot of their players will move in the summer, you know, and like you said, it's people, especially people who are getting some praise. You know, Nisial's good. Trincao obviously had a stint in the Premier League, didn't quite work out, but he's shown he's good there. Obviously, Gyökeres, Quenda. What's the other centre midfielder's name? Is he Japanese? I can't remember where he's from.
It'd be like I said, it'll be the case. It's a weird football thing, isn't it? Of like a team is successful over like, you know, I'd say a smaller team, Sporting a big team in Portugal, but a smaller team, you know, from a European perspective, and like sort of piranhas, the big clubs across Europe just come in and just gobble the players up, isn't it? So it's like the Bayer Leverkusen kind of situation, isn't it? Like now, the general feeling, isn't it, is that Xabi Alonso is going to leave at the end of this season, and he probably end up going to Real Madrid. And you can already start to hear the sort of, I'll have that player, I'll have that one. I'll have him, you know, I'll have him, you know, what I mean? I'll have him there. And it's always the way, innit? It was like, even when like Leicester, when they won the league, it was like, right, who's getting Mahrez? Who's getting Kante? You know, everyone, it always happens. And it'll be the same with Sporting, you're right. So I guess that they're the players that are going to be on the market. And I suppose it's just a case of, are United going to participate in that? Were they scared off because of what happened with the Ajax stuff? You know, and also actually, I suppose it's going to be interesting to see, does Ruben Amorim really even have that kind of influence? You know, Erik ten Hag did. You know, he had the veto. Amorim doesn't have that. It's Dan Ashworth and Christopher Vival and all those people kind of making those decisions about who to go after. I'm sure Amorim's consulted and he's part of that process, but not to the extent that Erik ten Hag was. So, is that going to be different too? Is it going to be sort of saying, it's not going to be Amorim leading it, basically, is it? But I'm sure if they said, hey, we think we can get, you know, Gyökeres, he's not going to go, no, I don't want him. No thanks. You know, so it'd be interesting to see how Man United do approach that. I'm really interested to see what happens just in January, in general, with it. I've been saying this for months.
Do you believe this left back thing? We're trying to get a.
I just think United are going to participate more than we kind of think. I don't know how.
There's a chance to back this guy and a chance to funds are free.
I don't know. Yeah, exactly. I don't know from a PSR point of view how we're going to do it, but I think they're going to try. I mentioned it was in that Athletic a few weeks ago, this idea of sort of Sir Jim going, let's see what happens. If we overstep the mark, we overstep the mark. And let's see if they come after us kind of thing. Which, by the way, you go, Sir Jim, they will, you know.
They will.
With everything going on in terms of like football clubs this year and whatever and getting in trouble, it's not the time.
Now is not the time, yeah. Do not overstep marks now.
It's not the time to kind of push the boundaries and stuff like that. But I think United will have a go, and maybe they'll try and move people on as well in January. And
it will, well, because it'll be, like you said, it'll be a chance to, like you said, support the new guy at the first time of asking if you could get him a player or two. But you know, they've showed us, and we know from the people that are running the club now that, you know, they do look at short to mid to long term, you know, properly, and they're not going to scupper their plans for a long term plan for the summer of what they've probably mapped out what they want that summer to look like already, in terms of profile and probably some individuals as well. If they know that by going for player X in January is going to ruin that, then maybe they hold off. And it depends if someone comes in from maybe our players. I just don't know. I just can't see it apart from loans. I can't see any of our players.
To see. That's why I said the Anthony stuff's interesting, because, you know, Ruben Amorim might already be told, like, we're going to try and move Anthony on in January. You know, maybe not permanently, because that might be impossible, but we're going to loan him out. Yeah. So, like, actually, don't really get him involved that much because he's not going to be here, you know, kind of thing. Because again, that whole...
They will have all those conversations.
That whole thing's changed, isn't it? The way that because of the hierarchy is now different and people have got different job titles. I mean, I saw someone in the comments the other day saying, oh, why are we being so... every time someone says manager, we're going head coach. It's not that important. It means the same thing. And it goes, well, it doesn't now, does it? Not only has the title of the person changed, but also his responsibilities have changed. He's the men's first team head coach. That's his remit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As far as everything else, the academy, he got part in it, but not to the extent like the manager would have or anything like that. He's involved in recruitment, but he's not as heavily involved as someone else would have been previously. With a new title comes a new set of responsibilities. Some might overlap with the previous person that have done the job. I mean, I'm sure lots of people have actually stepped into jobs where they go, right, actually the person you're replacing, you're not really doing the same thing. You're doing parts of that, but we've kind of restructured this.
It's a new job description.
And exactly. It's a new job description. This is kind of changed. So that's why it's really important to kind of remember and stress that he's a head coach and not a manager, because some of his responsibilities are different. As a fan, from a fan's perspective, we just see, the men's first team play every single week and we go, that's what Eric was in charge of. So it's the same thing. But you go, parts of it aren't. Parts of it are actually very different.
And a lot of it is like behind the scenes stuff of what he does and doesn't get involved in. Like you say, like, of course, there's going to be meetings around. Look, you have to, whoever the head coach is or manager, whatever it is, you have to have conversations with them and get them involved in right. Who's doing well? What's the progress with this? And then you start saying, I'm going to need a fullback who's like really quick, comfortable on both sides, and preferably under 25. Like, I really need that. Okay, right. We'll get onto that. We've been thinking, like you said there, listen, I know this is like an obvious one, but Romano said it today. Christian Eriksen, we're currently not going to offer him a new contract. So in terms of what you're building, not that Christian Eriksen would be integral to what he's building, but I'm just saying, just bear that in mind in your match preps or when you use him. And he's a top pro. We've spoken to Christian. He's fine. He understands that. But he's there for you when you need him and this, that, and the other. And then as the manager, that puts you in, head coach puts you in the thing of when you do speak to that player and have to do one-to-one catch-ups, you go, I spoke to the guys. I said, obviously, you're not going to get contract, just so you know. Let's keep the spirits high. I'll be able to use you in some of the cup game. You start it. That's how
Eriksen asks him. He goes, "Oh, what's going on with my future?" He goes, "It's not really a conversation for me. You got to talk to Dan. That's not really my remit." Again, and
the players know this. That's what their agents do. The player never really. I mean, they do. Obviously, with the old school manager, when Eric's had so much power, then we look at Amrabat. That's a perfect example. Mr. Ten Hag wanted to keep me. Sorry, Ten Hag wanted to keep me. Ask Mr. Wilcox. Amrabat told us Wilcox / those guys went, no, we're not doing that.
Yeah, because Omar Barada and Dan Ashworth weren't in at the time, so it would make sense that he would kind of be trying to, sort of help out, if you will, whilst those people aren't officially in. So
that shows you how this thing's going to run.
Yeah,
and the head coach, and he was the manager at the time, but now there's even less power given to the coach. But even under Eric's last bit in last transfer window, when he just won the FA Cup and they were trying to back him and go again, it was no.
I want Amrabat. Well, we don't think
we don't. We want Ugarte.
Yeah.
And look, this is where you start to, not conspiracy theories, when you start to read into things and you go, Ugarte, get him. Now look, you got Amorim. It's a bit interesting.
And it's not even necessarily like, I think, the personnel part of it. It's just more that this is just how the process works now. Like, it's just, it's different. Whether, you can like it or not, but this is how it's going to operate, kind of thing. And that's always difficult when you've been in the job and it has operated differently, as opposed to when you've hired someone and that's all they know. All I know is that this is how it operates. So I'm not going to push back on something that I signed up for, basically. And with Eric, and that's why I do sympathize with him to an extent. And again, I think lots of people have been in situations and jobs like that when they go, "Oh, what I was hired for versus what I'm doing now has kind of changed a little bit, and that's not what I signed up for." And I feel a little bit, I don't have as much power as I once had. That makes me feel a bit uncomfortable and strange. Whereas if you just hired someone and that's all they know, then they're going to be a lot more easier to deal with, and a lot more, I suppose, respectful of that, that structure and that system. So that all makes sense. That's why, him being called the head coach is very, very significant. It's not flippant.
It's a big change.
It's not just for the sake of, it's not just for the sake of we want to appear modern. So we've just called him a head coach, but everything else is the same. No, a lot's very different.
The whole thing has changed. All of it. Like literally all of it. So let's wait and see. It's going to be exciting times. It's going to be really interesting how we conduct our business in the summer, or how different it was to last summer, etc., etc. So all right, guys, big show. We did get to over 750 likes.
We did it.
Big up to each and every single one of you. You can get us to 800 on the way out. Easy.
Why not?
You know what I mean? Just about another 30 odd. There you go, 29. Get us to 800 on the way out. Later on today, I will be catching up with Super Kev Hatchard, European football expert, to catch up about Ruben Amorim, just to get a better insight into.
What will you do if he calls him something different?
What, Ruben Amorim? Well, the reason why I'm saying Ruben Amorim is actually because I know that Kev has been calling him that, and other it's pronounced. I've spoken to a lot of Portuguese experts, over the last couple of weeks, and they all say Amorim. It's not Amorim. It's not Amorim. But I could speak to Kev now, and he might have been enlightened over the last couple of weeks. And so I will report back to you, and you lot will see later on this afternoon exactly what that looks like.
Lovely.
So that'll be later on this afternoon. And then, of course, this evening, 7 p.m, as always, every Monday, it is the red carpet. Loads to talk about there. And yeah, big up to each and every single one of you. Smash a like on this video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, if you haven't done so already. Over 800 likes. I make that a successful stream. Well done, peeps. We're out of here. Peace.